jailing some other people, like in the Ivory Coast, some 40 soldiers have been jailed. And Ivory Coast came out to argue that they were members of the UN. Have you independently checked that out to find out if they were actually UN soldiers?
Well, the UN has made it clear that they were soldiers and they were not mercenaries. There was a statement that was by the United Nations, and we are a permanent member of the United Nations Council. But so, yeah, they were not mercenaries. But that's part of the things that we do not understand. Why is Mali trying to fight with all its neighbors? He's doing that to Côte d'Ivoire. He's calling the president of Niger not Nigerian, doubting his identity. How can you be mean to all your neighbors? What are they looking for? That is, it really leaves us completely baffled. We just don't understand where they're going and what they want to do.
2 of your offices were burnt down in Burkina Faso.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Well, it shows that the social media influence and bad mouthing and propaganda is not only on social media. It can come out of social media and reach the street. And that is very worrying, because we have also sort of dismissed a bit those social media propaganda as, they're like those people, they're trying to, they are getting the audience that they would never get on normal media. Yes, of course, they may have 100,000 people listen to them, but it's not that big. And if you compare to the total population, so we've sort of minimized it. What we didn't realize was that these people were actually paid by the Russians to do that propaganda.
Which people?
Well, they call themselves Pan-Africanists, and they are like bloggers, YouTubers, and they create fake videos and they do interviews where they hammer in all sorts of lies about CFA, about France, about they produce montage, video montage, or for fake pictures. They shoot a fake picture about a car being broken in a place that obviously was a mine, and they said, look, the French are breaking everything before they go. But it was not even a French mine; it was an Australian one, and it had nothing to do with the French. Or they will capture the picture of something that is destroyed, and say they will claim that an airplane passed by and dropped a bomb, and that was French. They don't need to have any proof. They will just state things on places where we are not. So we are accused of doing things in places we are not even there. And they did something when we left Mali. Our intelligence services caught a conversation where they were obviously preparing some sort of weird thing. So we sent a drone above the military camp that we had just left.
In Mali?
In Mali, to video it. And we suddenly saw a line of trucks coming towards this camp that we had just left. It was idle. It was empty. Our soldiers had left.
Why did you send this drone?
Because we caught a conversation. Our intelligence services caught something that felt suspicious about that camp. So we sent a drone to video what's happening. And we see those trucks coming with bodies.
Oh, corpses, I see.
Corpses.
Dead bodies.
Dead bodies.
Wow.
And they unload them from the truck and start burying them in the camp. And then a man starts videoing with his phone, mobile phone. The idea was to issue that video saying, look what the French have left behind. And so the moment they issued that video, we could issue the video that we had made from the drone, showing the whole makeup that they had set up themselves.
Were they Russians?
They were mercenaries. They were Russian mercenaries.
Oh, they were Russians who did this?
Yes.
Wow.
And they were
This
luckily
is
on video.
3FM.
So it was in Gossi, and we could debunk that. But you see, we do not always capture these plans early enough to be able to. We were just lucky we caught that plan before, and we were able to video it, because otherwise, if only the video of the corpse buried had come out, we would have sworn we had nothing to do with it, but we had no proof. Because yes, it was the camp, but we were not there. We had gone for days.
And are the Russians out for you?
What do you mean?
Are they out for France? Are they coming for you?
No, I think they are currently in a mission of trying to get back their former. They never. Well, you have to distinguish the Russians and the current leader.
This is 3FM.
The Russians are very good people. They have a wonderful culture, a long history, very well educated, hard-working people. And they have this leader who does not come over the end of the Soviet Union.
Putin.
And he has always had an agenda of getting these territories back. But if we all claim the territories that once belonged to us, it's going to be chaos. Because the Roman Empire is going to claim France. France might claim the former colonies. Germany might claim Alsace. We might all claim something. Ukraine has been independent, recognized as a sovereign country for 30 years. And it was in the United Nations. So there was no question about the fact that Ukraine was a sovereign territory.
This is serious.
And so he decided to claim it. And yes, he certainly has an agenda for that. And because he has been very intelligent in using all the social networks and trying to influence elections so that the leaders were more on his side or would turn a blind eye on what he's doing. He has been meddling into many elections in France and Europe. Even in France, he's tried to meddle into the elections.
But the French elections?
Yes, but we had created a counter, how do you call that, piracy, like, the digital, like the digital attacks, pirates attacks.
Okay.
So we had set that up, and luckily we were able to stop these attacks. Well, it's always the same, they're using the same kind of tools as you have when you are on internet, and suddenly you see a pop-up about the very kind of product or item that you were looking for the week before. So this is big data. So they're using the exact same thing to push narratives against one candidate or pro one candidate. So they've been doing that for a long time.
Was that what they did in America?
That's what they did in America.
Okay. Now, I do not remember any country that Russia colonized in Africa. Do you know any?
No, not in Africa, but they colonized most countries around their own country. All the neighboring countries have been colonized by the Russians, all the way to Poland. So they've been slave masters. They were slave mastered long before we were, but they were enslaving the people who were close. We were travelers, so we were taking ships and going explore territories far away. They were colonizing and enslaving the people who were just their neighbors and expanding just towards their neighbors. So ask the Poles what they think about the Russians. They're going to tell you.
Do you have it off your head how many people France enslaved?
No.
No,
I don't think there are any records.
Okay.
I don't think there are.
All right. And it looks like you have a lot on your plate. Have you given up on Mali and Burkina Faso? You are a diplomat in charge of public diplomacy in Africa. Are you going to go back to Mali and talk to them and let them come to a certain agreement, or you've given up?
Oh, no, we never give up. We never give up because diplomacy is about keeping a dialogue going. We didn't give up on Putin either. We still try and talk to him. We still try. That's what diplomacy is about. So yes, we try and talk to the junta. We talk either through our ambassador. We still have one in Burkina, or directly. We still keep some sort of a open line so that we still talk. Breaking diplomatic relationship is a serious matter. The day you decide to leave and you don't have an embassy there and everyone goes, it's a very serious matter. So we try as much as we can to keep the dialogue. Even if we're no longer there, if we don't have any interest there, we try and keep the dialogue going, because we hope that eventually Mali will have fair elections, transparent elections, that one day there will be a leader that will be elected, whether we like it or not, whether we like him or her or not, it doesn't matter. He or she will be elected by the people, and he or she will be the legal, legitimate counterpart for the French head of state and for all the heads of states. So yes, we need to carry on talking, indeed.
I'm going to ask you the very last serious question, and then we'll go into the unserious part. Anne, right now as it stands, Burkina Faso doesn't want to hear about you there. They have burnt down your, offices right there in Burkina Faso. Mali has kicked you out. And France is almost like an enemy in at least these two countries. Russia is the new friend.
Yeah.
Now, you were the very first people, I'm talking about France, that was called upon to come and help against terrorism in these countries, right? Mm-hmm. Now, when you came in, did you succeed in fighting terrorism? If you did, why are they looking up to Russia right now to come and fight terrorism?
Well, terrorism is not something you can't, it's not like a normal army or an organization that would be registered with an address and a leader that you can talk to. There are groups that are done and done, splitting, getting together again, then getting together with another group. It's very intangible. Yes, we had many success against terrorism. We neutralized many groups, many leaders of the groups, but they reappear. They reappear like a worm that you cut in two and becomes two worms. So we did have success against terrorism. But again, when you free a territory of terrorism, then you need to reinstall the state. And if that's not the case, then nothing will change. Because instead of terrorists, it will be thieves, it will be all sorts of criminals. So it was the responsibility of the state to reinstall public services and security wherever we had managed to get rid of terrorism. The second thing is we couldn't get rid of terrorism on such a large territory. The Sahel that was parasites by terrorism is 5,000 kilometers large and 2,000 kilometers high. We had 5,000 soldiers. How can you cover such a large territory with only 5,000 soldiers? We needed all G5 Sahel soldiers as well, but it would have taken 100,000 soldiers to eventually begin to think of getting rid of terrorism. And then, what is terrorism? Do you think they are wearing a uniform saying, I'm a terrorist? That's not how it happens. They look like a shepherd. And a minute later, the cane is a gun and the cape is off, and then they're a terrorist. And underneath is a bomb and weapons. So it's something very, very difficult. And we didn't come to fight and eradicate terrorism. We came to support the army, the local armies, to fight terrorism. So if there is a failure, it's a common one. It's not ours.
And Sophie Ave, my guest, oh my God, French Ambassador. And she is in charge of public diplomacy in Africa. And I want to thank you so much. But before you go, I can see some people coming in here. I don't know. They have something beautiful here. It says Supreme Dynamic Talent Academy Awards, celebrating the global supremacy of talent and creativity. Oh my God, for 2022 award presentation to winners and honorees. Congratulations. Are you guys here? Are you here to give me an award? Are you here to give me an award? Tell me, man.
Good afternoon,
hi, good
listeners,
afternoon.
and good afternoon to you.
Yes,
good afternoon to the ambassador. Yes.
I can share it with you, actually.
Share with me, Anne. we share Anne's thing. Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring. Yes. In 2023, we're looking forward to also having you at the awards event. But today, we're here because of H.E. Sophie Ave.
Wow. So you are bringing her an award?
Of course.
Is it a cake?
Oh, I wish. Now you mention it.
Okay. So it's Supreme Dynamic Talent Academy Awards, celebrating the global supremacy of talent and creativity. So it's an awards event specialized in recognizing and celebrating the talents of our local Africans and of course international space as well. But then we also have the special recognition categories where we recognize diplomats, politicians, educators, and just literally every walks of life, people who have contributed their quota to make sure that the world is a better place. So for today, we're here to give her an award.
Wow.
Yes, as the global humanitarian of the year.
Congratulations.
This one actually, a very hard-working one at that. I mean, she's an assiduous person you have to mention. I mean, you can't mention hard work without mentioning her.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I mean...
You guys, you have a different accent from Ghanaian people. Are you Ghanaian people?
We are Ghanaians.
Are you sure?
Ghanaians and Nigerians.
All right. I love your accent. I'll come and learn
you.
that. So what is the award? I can't see.
Oh, it's here, right?
It's
here.
hidden in the bag.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Wow.
There's my name on it.
Oh, my God. Please hand it over to her so I can feel it from her.
Oh, yes.
This is solid gold, I believe. Oh, my God. Solid gold.
I wish. Thank you so much. So actually, thank you very much. The thing is, and I think that's the reason why, and I want to share the award. I can share it with you, but I need to share it with the Akosia Fund. As you know, I've put together a fund before I left. Because I've been privileged to be installed and skinned a queen mother in 3 different communities. So